right in Hungary. Yes, at the Hungaroring in Budapest. For the FP1 FP2 session, quickly look at what teams have done and what they are doing. The Ferrari came with upgrades. The Red Bull came with big upgrades. Big upgrades. Mercedes track specific upgrades. McLaren, they are the talk of the town. They are the big boys. They are untouchable. They look exponential. For the Red Bull upgrade, I think it looks a little bit daunting, or should I say challenging. A lot of changes the Red Bull have made to the car, but only Max Verstappen will be driving the upgraded car while Checo Perez will be driving the old car. I think they want to correlate data and see what will work. This is a similar track to Spanish track. It and the track layout is more or less a fast, not so much fast flowing circuit, it's a medium flowing circuit with so much corners around it. And a lot of teams brought a lot of heat packages to help in the cooling of the car. The Red Bull brought a totally new front flap for the front wing that they introduced in Silverstone with a more aggressive difference to that one. A new halo. They have brought more vanes, more aerodynamics to their halo. The floor body has been changed. The floor fences have been changed. The floor edge, the diffuser and the beam wing has been changed on the Aston Martin. Those are for the Aston Martin. Now for the Oracle Red Bull, the Coke engine cover on the Red Bull has been changed. If you look at it towards the back, it has been changed, it has been remodified. Unlike the bulgy one that looks like the Mercedes W14, it has been changed. The halo has been redesigned with so much aerodynamics on it. The rear corner has been redesigned. The front wing has been totally changed. The front corner also has been changed. There's the lower wishbone forward leg shroud profile. And for the Mercedes, the only upgrade they brought were the lower deflector end plate upgrade. That's the rear of the car. Now you can also see the opening for the suspension cooling on the two cars on the Mercedes. That helps the suspension in cooling. That might also give them an aerodynamic advantage. The Ferrari only brought the floor body at the rear. They've reworked the floor body at the rear. I think they are really trying to learn a lot of things because they know the upgrades they've brought are working, but they only have porpoise. And then in this Hungary, the FP1, I didn't see them porpoising. They had a good run. The McLaren only brought a track-specific upgrade. Also, Carlos Sainz moving to Red Bull. I'm not sure that is a deal that is done already, but it might look close because Carlos Sainz is still looking at Red Bull or Mercedes, but he has other options on his table, and the earlier the better. But as said it that Kevin Magnussen will be leaving the team at the end of the year, which gave room for Olivier Biermann to also start in the practice session today. Magnussen will be leaving at 32 years old, still be driving certainly. I want to make a comment on As taking on Ocon. For me, I think it's going to be a disaster if As should take on Ocon because the history of Ocon with his teammates had been bloody tragic. Esteban Ocon is a good driver, no doubt. As in, I love him, I love his story, I love his drive, I love the way he drives. He's so much passionate and so much engrossed in what he does. But he's had bad histories with his teammate. Now, pairing him with a rookie driver, it is wrong. I can tell you it's so wrong. You cannot pair Esteban Ocon with a rookie driver. It is the wrongest thing you can ever do. Do you want to kill Olivier Biermann? I think it's wrong, and I think these guys need to look into that. They cannot afford to pair these two guys together. I think As should consider not signing him. I think Alpine, Williams, or probably we are looking at Sauber, which is Audi. Could be a good spot for him. But with Nico Hülkenberg in Sauber, some God is gonna trade blows. It's going to be hot. But to the FP1 session, like FP1, we already know that we won't be seeing much things. But for a track like Hungaroring, which has always been a clean track to come on, I think we saw much, and we saw Ferrari coming on with aerorigs to check the airflow on the car, and also Red Bull coming with aerorigs to see the upgrades they brought to Max Verstappen's car, and also to look at what they can learn on Sergio Perez's car and compare what they need to do. So in FP1 we saw a lot of rubbers laid on the track, and also the junior sessions, the F2, F3 has also raced, and we also raced after the FP1 on the track, which makes the track much more rubber laden, like the green track they started the FP1 on. So we have Carlos Sainz P1, Max Verstappen P2, Charles Leclerc P3, George Russell P4, Zhou Guanyu P5, Lando Norris 6, Oscar Piastri 7th, Tsunoda 8, Lance Stroll 9, and Lewis Hamilton 10th. And you can see from that it's looking willy-wally. It doesn't really show the current pace of these cars and how they are going to line up. But FP2, we'll see their long runs and the real setup of these cars and how they will perform. But I think this is looking like games that they are playing. The Ferrari are ready to show that they are a real contender. But will they carry on with this, and will they be able to qualify on pole? By FP2, I will be able to tell you that much things that will go down for FP3 and qualifying tomorrow. So jam you then, meet you there. The FP2 started on a good note. After the F2 qualifying, it was getting much more interesting with teams letting us know that they have a strategy for the race. The Mercedes coming in on medium tires after medium tires run. Earlier in the morning, they did some soft tires run also. They came in on medium tires, and we saw for Mercedes, for McLaren, the Red Bull, they had decent pace. They came back on soft tires, while the McLaren went on hard tires to change their strategy, which means they'll be having one hard tire left and they'll be having one medium tire, while the Mercedes might be having two hard tires, one medium, and a lot of soft tire, and like one or two soft tires left. So these will play a strategic game for the main race. But unfortunately, 10-15 minutes into the FP2, we have the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc bunching into the wall and destroying his front wing and some part of the end part of the car, in which he could have lost the shaft or the suspension on the rear. There was a red flag and the cars came back on the grid, and we had the long runs, especially for the top 4 cars. We had the long run, and we can see that the differences on Max Verstappen's car and Checo Perez's car are a little bit different. The Checo Perez car has the old spec of the side pod and the engine cover, while Max Verstappen's car had the new one. That's the only difference the cars carry, and it shows that there might be a possibility that Red Bull don't have a direction for the car, and maybe next year they might not even have a direction for the car. His team are confused. From what I heard, Andre Newey tried telling them that the direction they are going to is wrong and gave them the right direction for the car, but too late. He has left the team, and the vacuum will be there, and that might show in the championship next year. That possibly Red Bull might not be in the championship next year. We don't know yet. I don't know yet. I'm just giving them an overview from what we are looking at. But at the end of the day, on long runs, Red Bull are doing well, especially for the Checo Perez side of the garage. Mercedes are doing well on the long run also, but there are about 4 tenths between these two teams on the long run, which shows the dominance of Checo Perez on long run, with the Ferraris doing a great job and the McLaren come Max Verstappen. I cannot tell you that for now this is the main pace of all these teams, but Checo Perez looks very well on his long run. Lando Norris ended the session P1, Max Verstappen P2, Carlos Sainz P3, Checo Perez 4, Russell 5, Magnussen 6, Hamilton 7, Ricciardo 8, Albon 9, and Alonso 10. That is the order for the FP2. But this shows us that we still have the top 4 teams in contention for tomorrow, and hoping that the upgrades that Red Bull brought will push them forward or has brought them great opportunity. But it's still unlikely that these upgrades have brought them great opportunities. But up until FP3 tomorrow and qualifying, I still remain your friend. Bye. Love you. Chi.